Well, thank you for joining me, Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, Theologist, Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia. I'll just sit over here. We learned in our last lesson on the sinful nature and personality disorders without naming any. If anything, I might be brave enough to name narcissism, covert narcissism. But here I would like to just recapitulate that we learnt that the person who strays from common sense in their relationship ends up in the company of people who are without common sense. They're dead. These are people that are undeveloped. They don't want to develop themselves. They're not doing the psychological and characteristical work inside themselves, the spiritual work. They're failing to do that. Those who love pleasure become poor, and those who love wine and luxury will never be rich. These are the people that waste their money on drugs, alcohol, medications, and other recreational drugs that mislead them from the way in which they should be living. And it's funny how it follows on from here. It leads them into an unjust life, an ungodly life, where there's sadness in the end, momentary joy, but ultimately just a zombie type of existence. There are many functioning alcoholics, addicts, and medication people out there. They are trying to find them and catch them, but that's life now. It's how these societies set up to facilitate and enable people to be able to slip through the nets, as it were, but a lot are being caught and sifted out. Those who love pleasure become poor. Those who love wine and luxury will never be rich. They sabotage their directions in life. They sabotage their possibilities in life. They live for the moment. The moment's fleeting, and it's not a good ending in the end for these people. They don't leave an inheritance for their children, and therefore their children's children won't get one either, because usually, unless there's a black sheep in the family, these things become generational. And then we learnt the wicked are punished in place of the godly. And this is when people are trying to assassinate and vandalize your character and emotions. It all comes back on themselves, and the traitors and wicked people are put in place of the honest and the godly, because that's what they're sowing. They're trying to sow seeds that bring people down. They end up going down themselves. They end up in the company of the wicked and the traitors and the liars and the schemers and the cheaters and the stealers, the devil's company. It's better to live alone in a desert than with a quarrelsome and complaining wife. The last one was, it was better to live in the corner of an attic, A-T-T-I-C, than with a quarrelsome and complaining wife. This goes to show that you can marry a covert narcissist. That's a narcissist who's acting in a covert manner. They're not showing their true characteristics and identities. I know I've married one of these. It's horrible, really horrible. And in the end, they go overt and destroy everything around them, and often themselves, very often themselves. The wise have wealth and luxury, and this is where we finished up. Oh no, it's not. But fools spend whatever they can get. And this is the conflict. This is the contrast. The wise use their wisdom to gain wealth and luxury, while the fool use whatever they can get on whatever they can get. They don't think. And that's usually this lot, where those who love wine and luxury will never be rich. And of course I'm sure we finished with, whoever pursues righteousness and unfailing love will find life, righteousness and honour. And we spoke about how people who pursue unrighteousness and dishonour will end up with a love that fails, and a life that is spent on whatever they can get. It just doesn't lead anywhere. It doesn't go anywhere. Verse 22 of Proverbs 21 says, as we begin this session, the wise conquer the city of the strong, and level the fortress in which they trust. Now, these are pride and arrogant people. Now, you can put the narcissist here if you like. And what I've learned is the more knowledge you have about narcissism and personality disorders, you will be able to conquer. If you learn about these things, and when you run into these people, they're going to be covert, and they're going to be using their narcissistic strength to try and conquer you and control you and manipulate you in all the different ways in which they do it. If you have the wisdom and the knowledge, you will level the fortress in which they trust. You will bring the narcissist down. You will bring the person with the personality disorder down. You'll bring the complaining, quarrelsome, covert, narcissistic, overt wife down. But only if you've got the knowledge. Only with the knowledge do you conquer the people that are trying to bring you down. I've said to many of my girls, you do not have the strength. You do not, and you did not have the strength to bring me down. And thinking they could bring me down, they brought themselves down. And I've warned them, do not mess with goodness, because it will bring you down. They haven't got the wisdom. And I said, they haven't got the strength. I've said to them, you haven't got the strength. You're not strong enough to bring me down for everything you've learned in life and all your, whatever you're trying to do, and they're dysfunctional. You cannot bring me down. I'm too wise. I'm too learned. You cannot conquer me. I will conquer you in terms of unfailing love. And they all know it. They will never find me in another, because I loved as best as I could. Now, it may not have suited some of your devious plans, ladies, but at the end of it, you knew that my wisdom conquered your foolishness. And that's why you are where you are. You trusted. You trusted in the company of the dead. You strayed from common sense. This is what the narcissist does. And if you have the wisdom to see and know the narcissist's strategies and tactics and the ways in which they keep you guessing by withholding, they withhold attention, emotional interaction, they'll use their body to keep you enthralled. And I haven't found a narcissist yet that's been all that good at sex or any different to a normal functioning lady. They do get a bit of a talk up on their sexual activities, but I disagree with that. I think each person is individual and unique and precious in the way in which they share themselves. But when you've had the life experience and early in life, I was fortunate to have lots of girls early. Just the girls like the boys and the boys like the girls. And as I grew older, I learnt a lot. And you do run into the covert narcissistic woman. And they will keep you guessing. They'll keep you wondering, guessing what's going on next, what's going to happen next. And you try harder and harder. And that's when you realize, hang on a sec, something's amiss here. This just is not a unified relationship. And you got to ask yourself, where is my strength and attention going? What is my life being put into? Where's all this headed? What am I aiming for here? And you realize really quick that your input's being wasted. When somebody, and I'll just come back out, when somebody puts into you, emotionally or intimately, you use that energy that they give you to empower yourself to succeed out into the world, and then when they come back around to you, you impart that energy back. Now, these people here, bear with me, you impart the energy that they've given to you back into them with your energy. But when you end up with this lot here, the ones that stray from the common sense of that, and they're just wasting themselves everywhere, they're wasting your energy everywhere, they're wasting their energy everywhere, and there's no return. It's just you're spending yourself on that person until they come around again to spend you again and to waste you again. You're not building anything. Nothing's being built. That's narcissism of one level to another. It's take without anything being created or built. And this is where you have to have the wisdom to conquer the strengths of narcissism, the city in which it's built, all the psychological aspects and ways in which it attacks. And when you come back and to the place where you have enabled yourself to understand how it works, and you confront the issues, and the person's not responding because they're blinded, they've strayed from the common sense of the relationship, their narcissism's kicked in, then you level the fortress in which they trust. And you might be the greatest blessing that that person might ever have. You might be the one that got away and was the greatest lesson that you showed the narcissist or the person, the sinful nature person, about themselves that they might ever have. Nobody might never come to the place where they can show them that this is the issue and this is why I'm leaving. It's abuse. It's abuse. Now, whether they take that lesson or not, it's up to them. But all the lessons are there. The wise conquer the city of the narcissist and level the fortress in which the narcissist trusts. Now, if that ain't a powerful scripture, if that ain't a narcissist-destroying scripture, revealing strategy against the narcissist, I don't know what is. Because when you have the wisdom and you're able to understand and see the strategies of the narcissist, that is then you level the fortress in which they trust. And it's the greatest lesson you could ever give to a narcissist. And they'll thank you later. They'll hate you at the time, but they'll thank you later because you had the courage to show them what could help change their life and bring them back to their senses. I'm Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia. Thank you for joining me.